Hey guys, how you doing? Alright, so I wanted to introduce you guys to the new 1.7. It is brand new for 2014. The steel is D2 steel. It is a flat ground blade. It is over 11 inches long as the blade goes, and overall it is 17.5 inches long, so it's 17.5 inches long. A very large chopping blade, something used for either survivalists, chopping through brush, camp chores. It is a very, very big blade. I did a lot of research and detail into this. Now, I could see that a lot of people would say, well, it's just a very thick machete. And I could assure you it's not. There's a lot more that went into this. Technically, or typically, a machete is 1/8 of an inch thick. It's usually stamped out, and it's usually made of like a 1075 or a 1055 steel, and then coated, black coated. Probably has some type of cheap plastic handle on there, or wood. Okay, this is everything but that. It's not, you can't even compare. What I tried to do was to visualize the people that go out into the woods all the time, or in the jungle, or campers or preppers or survivalists, whatever. They tend to bring a lot of tools, and I wanted to circumvent all that and say, well, do you need a saw, an axe, a hatchet, all these things, and bring it into one tool. That's not always the case. It's not always the best scenario, but if you had to bring one big large blade into the bush with you, I think this would definitely suffice. That being said, it is a 1 pound 7 ounce piece of steel, so it is not light, but it is also not heavy. The balance point on this knife is basically right here. Okay, it's right in between the ricasso and the blade itself, so it's sort of in the middle. It is a very blade forward or blade heavy type of tool. There's a lot of great features on here that I added and incorporated with my experience of being in the bush and working in the outdoors. Typically, your machete doesn't have all these ergonomic handles or finger grooves, and we'll get into that in a minute. The blade itself is a flat ground blade. It does have a distal taper here in the front. There is a jimping on the thumb ramp, and it does have a close-up finger choil for a close-up work. This is a recurve profile type of blade. The recurve itself does a couple of things. The recurve allows you to get in closer to your work to do small things and small tasks like feather sticks or traps or something like that, and it does reduce a little bit of the weight, so I was very happy with that. Let's get into the knife. Alright, this obviously is what it comes looking like from the heat treat. Alright, so it's just a blade blank, and then this is the finished product. As I said before, this is a flat ground blade. It is a very big blade, and as you can see, it's 1/4 of an inch thick with the distal taper. Okay, that allows it for penetration in this direction as well as this direction. I wanted to make sure that this end cuts. It's not just there for show, and it will. This right here, like I said, is for your close-up, and as you can see right here, it has a finger choil. Now, on this finger choil itself, I not only just left it round, but I did round the edges and gave it a 45-degree bevel all the way around, so it's nice and smooth and it won't irritate your fingers. The handle itself can be made out of wood or micarta. Either one is fine. I did a lot of things with this handle. First, as you can see right there, it does come with a lanyard hole if you want to put a lanyard or attach it to it. The micarta has stainless steel pins, so you don't have to worry about any rust factors. As I said before, it does have the jimping on top, so you can hold on to that knife and you'll be fine with it. It gives you a little bit more of traction. I did knock it down a little bit because I didn't want it to cut your fingers. Anybody that's been out in the bush for a while and it's cold and wet and you have very, very rough jimping, it will irritate your thumb and possibly rip some skin off, so you gotta be careful with that. The handle itself, was very well thought out, and I needed to make it even better, which I think I accomplished it. It has 3 handholds. Okay, the first hold that I'm going to talk about is the actual chopping hold. Okay, as you can see here, it has this very round palm edge right here, so you can really get your fingers in there. The blade itself is heavy enough that you don't have to constantly force pressure down on it. You can either hold it like this or put your thumb on top, and with the weight of the blade, it should do most of the work by itself. Okay. The second hold is what I like to call the Crusader Hold, or the average everyday Joe hold, because basically this is where the weight of the blade is sort of like in the middle. And as I can show you, I'm just flipping this around with 2 fingers, and it's not too heavy to wield around. The Crusader Hold is primarily going to be used for a lot of utility work. So if you're cutting or slicing or actually using it in this method, that's where this thumb ramp comes into play, as you can see right there. The last hold is actually your fine work. As you can see there, the 2 fingers go into the groove, and you can get really close to the blade to do a lot of cutting work right here. And overall, I think it's a very good positive grip there. Couple other things I did to this. As you can see, it has these grooves in there. These grooves serve 2 purposes. One is obviously for the grip. If you are holding this knife, you can actually feel there's pressure in between here and here. And what it'll do is, if your hands are wet or sweaty, it'll allow the water to or the sweat to flow away from it, giving you a better grip. The other reason I did that is, if you can actually grip this, you can see that my thumb right there has a place to go. So it is a very comfortable grip if you're using this in a chopping motion, and actually you can use it back here, or even as a Crusader hold, as I call it. You can see where the fingers actually fit inside these grooves, and again, giving you more grip. So this has a lot of grip action and a lot of grip features that I put into this knife, and I really wanted it to be a all-around field or camp knife. It'll work great for the military guys if you're trying to clear brush and need something a little bit heavier. Great for survivalists, like I said. Overall knife. D2 steel has very good non-rusting capability. So it's not a stainless steel, but they call it like a semi-stainless steel, which is outstanding. You might have to put a little bit of oil on it, but guys that worked with D2 steel, they say every now and then they get a little bit, and that's it, but nothing crazy, as opposed to high carbon steels, which tend to rust a lot faster. So a lot of thought process went into this blade. Like I said, it's not too hard to wield. It's actually a very comfortable type of knife, and I look forward to a lot of people actually picking one of those up. I like making them. The thing you should know that is D2 steel is a very, very tough material, so I usually go through a lot of belts grinding this type of steel. Even the water jet company has to have a special nozzle to cut it, because you have to go really slow with D2. It's a very dense and thick type of steel. But once the blade edge is on there, I know a lot of people were talking about blade edge. Once the blade edge is on there and it's correct, like it is now, that blade edge will last for a very, very long time. Very little sharpening, which is what I needed as well. I wanted that aspect of it. You can pick these up at threeriverblades.com. I wanted to thank John, whose blade this is going to. He's the guy that has constantly purchased almost all my knives. So every time I put a new one out, he's the first one to purchase and order. So I want to say thank you for the support, and that's why it's going out there to him. Now, being that it's a big blade, I have a couple options on the accessories page. All the blades are going to come with Kydex sheets. If you wanted to attach it to a pack, there is an option called lanyard lacing or latching. Basically, it's just a Kydex pancake sheet where you can, I will put 550 paracord through it, and then you can latch it to your pack or to your battle rig. I also have molly locks if you're interested in that. I can make a sheath where you can put it on your ruck or your battle rig if you're interested in that. Again, great blade, great ergonomics. Really happy with the design and the way it came out. Overall, it's not a cheap blade. This one runs for about $350. So if you're looking for something that is a large, robust knife, you know, I don't think you're going to get any better than that. It will take the place of some small hatchets or axes, or I think they call them hunter's axes. I think that's going to be an avenue where it goes, and it definitely will take the place of a machete. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And you know, if the zombie apocalypse ever comes, then you'll definitely be able to take a zombie's head off with one of those. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support. And if you're interested in one of these, again, please go up to threeriverblades.com. Thank you. Bye.